Alrighty folks, welcome back to another video from Yates Computers, Tips and Reviews. So for this one, I wanted to try to do an honest, valid, thorough review of temu, whatever their name is, this site. I've seen a lot of interesting stuff. I've purchased a lot of interesting stuff over them for over 6 months, giving them a fair shot at it. Because I've seen a lot of reviewers give them a lot of bad reviews on their products. And so for this, I want to do actually 2 reviews. A product review and the entire website review. Because I believe those are completely 2 different entities that need to be reviewed. Because it's a Chinese company. I'm sure you've heard all the hype over TikTok and all of this stuff about where servers are located and all these other type of things. And when you get into Security Plus, you get into credit card transactions, you get into security, you get into identity theft, you get into a lot of these issues that are out there. Knowing where you are actually doing your transaction and who has your data and where your data is actually at, where it's stored, anywhere in the world, has different rules, different laws, different regulations. And who you are and where you are has different rules, different regulations, and different policies and procedures and everything else. So, if you order from this company that's located in China, you pretty much have no right, because China will not enforce any of the legality of anything. Depending on what country you are, may not be able to force China to enforce those legalities. So this is where this one is important for the site. This review is about the actual website itself. This site, I would give it as the same as most big business sites today. Walmart, Amazon, eBay, it's all marketplaces. This is not them doing all sales. This is something that you really need to watch out for, because you can go on there and find something and find it listed multiple times, the same item, different definition, different spellings, different wording, different prices. One of the good factors that they have is that they have a price match. If the price goes down within 30 days, but that price is on who you purchased it from, not them. So I'm sure if you've used Amazon, eBay, you understand there's a seller. That seller is where the price match is at. So there's a lot of negative with this. So I've posted earlier, I give them a 2 out of 10 rating. Number 1 is your credit card, your privacy, all of that security issues. It's all of the security issues that really give them a bad rating. Now, there's certain things you can do to protect yourself. Of course, you can use your Visa, PayPal, other things that give you more protection on your security of your information. I would highly recommend you never give them your bank account information, your credit card, like anything that direct into any of your accounts. You will go online and you will see stories about how they bled people's accounts, $2 transactions over and over and over and over and over again. They've done all kinds of stuff. There's people out there that have these stories. It can be done. If you get into a lot of the technical security side of computers, you will learn a lot of this about credit card encryptions, security keys, all kinds of stuff that's out there to protect your information so that it does not get turned over and lost and people can steal it. data breaches and all of those type of things. There's a lot of negative and bad side to this site. And again, I'm saying to the site. I'll have another review on products. There's a lot of bad with product. There's a lot of good with product. It is really hard for me to say, do not use this site. If you proceed cautiously and know what you're getting into and you proceed safely, you probably could do this very safely. The other really bad thing about this site is it's all app. Load it in your app. Emails, app. Why are you sending me an email about load this app in? I'm using email, not app. I do not recommend you ever loading that app into your phone. Because you got to understand the security. Again, security. This video is pretty much going to be all security. Once you load that app into your phone, you give that app permission to your photos, to your contacts, to whatever, to your phone numbers, your directories, your recent calls, your history, your location. It has all that rights to do anything it wants to your phone at that point. Where you have your bank account, where you have your email, where you have everything else on that phone. This is again why I talk about the cell phones are pretty much the most dangerous thing there is. Mixed with an app tech, well, yeah, Google Play Store and all of them are supposed to screen those apps and do, but there's updates and there's other things and they can do things. Go around that. Once you load that app in and you give it permission. So that's another huge thing. That's why I gave this a 2 out of 10. I see so many security problems and security issues and things that you need to be aware of and be careful of when it comes to this site. That it's almost hard for me to say, do not to even use them. I recommend you really don't use them unless you have to. Because all it takes is for you to make that one mistake, for you to click on the one thing. Because they send you so much email, so much, oh, just go load this app. Yeah, you can get free merchandise from them. But you have to pretty much rat out all your friends. Tell them, hey, go join, download the app. And then they have to go and download the app and install it and send it out to their friends. And then you can get free stuff. Well, if you want to do that to everybody you know, yeah, you can do that through them. That is what they're pushing. So this is why I wanted to do the video and point out these security things. Because now you got to realize you're using that app and all your friends are linking through their links to your link to give you credit so you can get free stuff. You're revealing all of that information. You're making it so they know everything you do. You're telling them. You're giving them that information. So this is where the security risks come in. This is where I have lots of videos on all the security stuff about people doing the research on you to find out about you so they can get into your folders. They can get into your content. They can get into your bank accounts. Facebook. I've warned you about Facebook and all the postings and the new generation. They post everything from birth to death. Well, they can research that and find everything they want about you. About your coworkers, everything. That's where all the phishing and all the other stuff. And the site's pretty bad. They send you deals. Oh yeah, go on here and get deals. Well, I've been finding a lot of those deals really aren't very good deals. There's some specials that I got when I first joined that were very good deals. Now, it's, oh, you got this great deal, go on there. It's the same price, same deal that I just saw 2 days ago. There's no deal. So they're marketing and they're spending things. I know they spent a lot of money on Super Bowl ads the last few years. questionable. They got to make that money back now. So they're going to get it somehow. So, but I really wanted to give them a fair shot. But there's so many security concerns that I had to give them a low number. There's no way I can give them a good number. So many reports on so many things out there, and so many people saying that they've frauded them, they've done this, they've cleaned out their bank accounts, they've done all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of reports out there on that. So that's why I'm doing this video on the site. This is the actual site. I'll do another one, show some products, show some stuff that they have that I bought. There's a lot of really nice, interesting stuff. Of course, you get what you pay for. You pay cheap, you get cheap. But that's the other thing I've seen on the reviews. You want to rate a good standardized SSD against a Chinese slow spin-off, $40, let's say. $10 from them. You think there's going to be a difference? There's obviously going to be a difference. There's a reason why theirs is 10 and this is 40. There's a very precise reason for that. It could be like this one's either metal or a harder plastic, and that's just a cheap plastic. But some of these things might not matter to you, but some of it might. A lot of these companies come with software so you can monitor the drives. Some of these other cheap companies don't give you nothing. At work, I've done bench tests on some of those cheaper drives that we got in some refurbished computers or some other computers, and they're slow. They're buggy. They have little quirks. And they're the little off-brand drives. A good name brand drive, I have not had a problem with. So to me, that's a whole security, hardware, reliability issue that really has to come up with the site. So I've reached out to them. And I've reached out to Amazon, eBay, a bunch of other ones, saying, I want to do a fair review on all of you guys. If you are like Harbor Freight, if you are selling lower end quality, please send me your lower end quality. If you're selling medium grade quality, please send me your medium grade quality. Please send me your high grade quality and tell me this is your medium, this is your low, this is your high. Because everybody has a certain budget and a certain cost that they want to stay within. And yes, I can understand you can buy a $10 SSD and probably be perfectly fine. Buy two of them, maybe one's used for backup, one's used for regular. Spend $20, you got two SSDs, you got a redundancy, compared to $40 for one. I can understand that logic. But if they're going to try to tell you that $10 SSD is the same as the 40 SSD, that's where I'm having an issue. And that's where I see a lot of the reviewers are saying, well, I got this tool that's a $150 tool and I got this tool from them for $10 and this is cheap and flimsy. Well, yeah, you got a $150 tool compared to a $10 tool. They're not equal. But will that $10 tool serve the purpose and job that you need to without paying for the $150 tool? So this is where I wanted to be on the review, is do these function and do what you want and what you need for what you paid. Not, I'm going to compare it to a $3,000 tool and tell you, oh, this ain't no good because it doesn't do this and this one does this and that. Well, yeah, you paid $3,000 for that tool. It better do that. So I had a hard time with this review. It took me a long time to sit down and look at each thing and figure out, okay, how am I going to review them fairly? Because I can't measure oranges to apples and say they're the same. It has to be an apple and an apple. And you can't measure an East Coast apple against a West Coast apple. You need to have both the same things to measure equally to me. So this is where I was at with them, and it took me so long to kind of even get a point on a good review. But because this year I'm doing a lot of security stuff and a lot of other stuff, this fell into security, the site. I've gone through UELs, I've gone through a lot of things, knowing a lot of this information nowadays, and you'll hear, like you've heard, all of the TikTok stuff. Oh, it's China based, it's China based, it's China based. So then they said, oh no, we'll do an American server. So they split it, and you have American server and you have a China server. And the traffic's supposedly split separately. No guarantee in that. No way to know that they're not monitoring anything that's going on that server. There's no way to say you cannot. They're the parent company that's monitoring everything on there. It's the same company. So there's those security concerns that have always been addressed. That's why government and other things, you're not allowed to use TikTok on their phones or sites or government buildings or anything like that. That's the reason why. You get into the same issue, but now you're dealing with your credit card transactions, your financials, a lot of other things too you need to really be aware of. And that is not really something a lot of tech and computer guys talk about. But when you get into the security side, that's what you talk about. And again, I'm not using the app. I'm using the website. And I'm using email. And they drive me crazy because they want to push that app so bad that I wonder, why do you want that app on my phone so badly? This is where a lot of you get into people wanting to ransomware, phishing, all these attacks that take place where they try to press something so much and try to slip it by you. This is how they get the advantage to get into your computers and have you make a mistake. They're pressing and pushing and pushing and pressing. The same as all those malicious actors. All the malicious sites. They're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. That raises red flags to me. Just boom, 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 boom. I mean, I can't honestly not report that. If I'm seeing that and go, man, they're pushing this app way too much. If I'm already purchasing stuff from you, why are you pushing me to use an app? Sending 4, 5, 8 emails on a weekend. Oh, special rate, go download this app. You know my transaction history. It's in your system. You know what I've ordered. You know when I ordered. You know how many orders. Why are you sending me emails for apps? So this is why I'm doing this video. To let you know on the security side of them to be careful. To be really, really careful. And again, there is some nice products. There is some great values, you know. And again, to know this is a marketplace. To know that. Because the other factor that I've seen is, oh yeah, they offer that price match guarantee. But if you have a third party that's selling something and they discontinue it, you'll see some reviews they've talked about where they've purchased stuff and then they go back on there and it says discontinued. I laugh because they did not realize this is like a third party you're dealing with. This is not the site. If you go on that site, you can probably find that same product that someone else is selling through a different seller at a different price. You'll find it multiple times. I go on there and I find stuff on there multiple times. And then you go look at the prices. Oh, it's $4, it's $3.50, it's $2.99, it's $1.99, it's $8, it's $12. All at the same page. All the same exact product. There's reviews on there that the products are very similar, but they're slightly different. Metal frame, plastic frame, some little slight differences you can't really tell. But again, you're buying what you're buying at what price you're paying. So, wanted to go through that and give the site review a review, because product review is different. I've got huge differences on product reviews. Legality on product reviews. What you would consider legal, illegal, moral, immoral, all on product reviews. And a lot of it can kind of get skewed and changed by on who you are. There's a lot of reviewers and stuff that have towed pretty hard line on a lot of it, because the reviewers, and they have a certain content that your content should be protected. I understand that. Yes, our content should be protected. And legality wise and all of that, a lot of questions come in play. So that's where I wanted to get at for this site, to actually have people have eyes open and review it. Be careful with what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. Honestly, watch everything you're doing on there. Understand that this is not just a straight site. This is a marketplace that's completely different. And that should pretty much wrap this one up. Stick around. There will be a product review. It might not be directly right after this video, but it will be released. And there's going to be a lot of little products that are on there. And you can make a decision how, or if you even want to proceed with the site where might be risky. You might have a chance of identity theft, fraud, some other issues coming up where they tell you, oh yeah, price match guarantee, and then you go on there and the item's disconnected or discontinued, but you can still find it on that site cheaper. There's some things you can do, but it's all your time, it's all your effort, and how much is it worth? Is it really worth, a $10 SSD that fails? Then you got to go out and buy another one. You know that $10 SSD didn't last, so you go out and buy the $40 one. You got to change it, get it done, do your backups, do whatever you got to do, get your computer back up. Time and effort. Security-wise, that's your data that just failed on that drive. Now you got to actually destroy that drive and make sure none of that data on that chip or anything gets out. So you have a lot of factors that come into play that I wanted to bring up. And I hope everybody sticks around, comes back, watches part 2 on actual product review, so you can actually see some of these products. Some of them were very interesting, very good. Just wonder why they didn't make it a little bit better to really make a good product. But, alrighty, thank you all for watching. Make sure you head on over, hit subscribe, because there's a lot of content coming. I got a lot of videos coming. Thank you so much.